Hi, welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. What I'm going to be making today is one of my childhood favorites, half moon cakes. These little half moon cakes was a special treat when we were kids, and of course I want to show you how to make them. And there are only a few simple ingredients in it. All of us got it in our homes. So if this interests you, stick around and let's get started. So what I'll show you first, just a simple batter recipe for this cake. I got half a cup of oil, and I'm using a canola oil here today. You can use a vegetable oil if you wish. Half a cup of granulated white sugar, and you can also use a sugar of choice, and a teaspoonful of vanilla. I'm just going to mix this together. We're going to now toss in there 2 large eggs. I'm just going to open them first, give it a little whisk, and toss it into the mixture. So that's 2 large eggs. We're going to mix that in with a 1/4 cup of milk. Now I get 1.5 cups of sifted flour that I've sifted already, and I'm going to add to it 1.5 teaspoonfuls of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoonful of sea salt or table salt. I'm just going to toss that in there, and we're going to slowly blend it into all of the wet ingredients. Just gradually going to mix that in. I'm just going to grab my whisk. Now you can do this with a blender or you can do it by hand. Like I said, it's only a quick recipe, not a lot of ingredients, and it's so tasty. Pretty much all you're doing is just going to blend it in through until it's nice and smooth. So putting it in probably 3 or 4 different times, like putting in the dry ingredients, so you don't have to mix it all at one time, and then until the batter is nice and smooth. So that's all you need to do there. So you take out your whisk, just put it to the side, and you're going to need 2 round pans, and you can put a piece of parchment paper in there, or you can have it without the parchment paper, and oil it well around the sides. If you're using the parchment paper, of course you don't need any in the middle, but I'm just making sure that this is going to stick down there good. And I'll oil the other one, and then we'll add the batter to it. So then just flatten out the parchment paper. So pretty much what you're going to do here now is put even amounts of that batter in each pan. So we're going to half it up for each one, so they're about the same. If one is a little bigger than the other one, that's okay. So I'll show you what I mean by that when we take it out of the oven, and you'll get to see it. Just put another small amount in this one. Just blending it back and forth, hoping that I got them almost the same. But like again, it doesn't matter. When you're making it homemade, it don't have to be perfect. It just got to be.
It's still going to be good and tasty.
Oh, it is. It got nothing to do with the taste, do it? No. And then, so what you're going to do is just spread it out now to the edge of the pan. Now I don't know if any of you guys remember making half moon cakes, or remember eating them as children, or even as adults. I suppose you still want to have your special treats, and if you do, leave a comment there letting us know, because we'd love to hear from you. So pretty much that's all we're going to do there. is spread that out. Now I'm going to tell you how long you need to bake it for. Of course, you can get them in two different types. You can get them in, this is a vanilla one, and you can get the chocolate flavored one, but it's pretty much the same. You got this nice creamy icing for the middle. We're going to make that here today, show you what that is. But right now we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll put these cakes in there for anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes. As you can see, it's not very big, so it don't need very long to bake. You can check it maybe at the 20-minute mark and poke it with a toothpick, and if it comes out clean, you know it's baked. So I'll show you mine when it comes out, and what we'll do next is make that icing. Our half moon cakes are baked. Of course, they're not half moon yet, they're just cooling
full moon.
They're a full moon now, as Raymond would say. So we're going to let them cool for about 5 or so minutes there in the pan, and we're going to take it out and cut it in half, and I'll show you that. But right now we'll make the frosting, and then we can get back at the cakes, and I'll show you that. It smells absolutely amazing in here, eh, Raymond? I was talking to my mom earlier, and I told her we were making half moon cakes today. And she was so excited. She's like, oh, my favorite. I'm like, now we can't keep all this for ourselves, Raymond. We're going to have to bring some to Mom and Aunt Clara for sure. Half a cup of butter, or you could use margarine if you don't have it. A teaspoonful of vanilla. And we're going to blend this together I'm going to use my mixer, but we'll blend it just to start creaming the butter. And you can also use maybe a teaspoonful of coconut oil, but I don't have any right now, but it brings out such a lovely taste to this frosting. You're going to gradually blend in the confectioner's sugar and 4 tablespoonfuls of milk, and I'll just gradually, I guess, bring it together. And that, Raymond, you're not going to get all of this sugar.
I'm sure.
Right?
Is flour going to become this way for sure?
Well, the sugar. You're going to get the sweetness. Too big of a mess though, Raymond, I don't think. We're using here 3 cups of the confectioner's sugar. And if you need to use a little bit more, you can. But just blend it together until it's all creamed. Oh my, I love making icing, especially when we're recording, because Raymond is covered.
I'll have to change my shirt.
Yeah, you're going to be well icing, that's for sure. Now you can keep...
Too sweet.
Too sweet. You're going to be too sweet, yes. So you can keep the icing on the countertop if you want it soft. If you want a little harder, you could put it in the fridge just to cool down a little bit. Not that it was hot, but just to harden the icing. I'm just going to put it to the side, and we're going to show you what to do with those cakes. Now let the cake, as you can see, is cooled down here a little. Is not as warm, but is not as hot as what it was. Of course, I wouldn't be handling like this. So as you can see, it's just a small little cake. What we're going to do, we're going to half this again, even though it's small. We're going to take the knife. I get Raymond to show you a little bit closer. Take a serrated knife and put in the middle of the cake, and we're going to just slide it across. So take your cake out of the pan, down onto your counter or onto your cutting board, and go right around cutting it the middle of the cake. And like I said, they're not going to be perfect, and the reasons for that is we're not making perfect cakes. We're making half moon cakes. And as I cut it here now, and I'll show you more. That's all you need to do there. So after you've cut it in half, you see there's a little one on the bottom and then that one on top. Then you're going to take your serrated knife again, and you're going to cut it in the center downwards to make a half moon cake. So what we're going to do, when these cools a little bit more, we're going to put the frosting in the middle, and then I'll show you that. But I'm going to cut the other one there now, and we'll get going on that. So doing the same as before, cutting it in the middle first, and then down through the center. So now let me grab those cakes, and we're going to put that icing in there. Now these half moon cakes are a little bigger than what we remember having as child, but unless you got a smaller pan, you know, if you want to make a smaller half moon, but I'm just using a regular cake pan for making it. So now pretty much after when you've cut it into 2 half moons, you're going to scoop up a nice scoop of the icing to equally put them in each one, because you're going to have 4 half moons now. And if you don't want too much icing in the middle, you can keep the icing and use on something else. I'm going to show you that. Of course, Raymond would say there's no such thing as too much icing on those half moon cakes or on a cake in general, because this type of icing you can just scoop up and just eat it like it is. So now you just, what was that?
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, I think I'll have a little bit more on mine.
Yeah, I know. No, if you wanted for it to see it nicely, bring it out to the sides so you can see it more when you put it together, like the icing, that is. And again, you could put more on there and just top it out there. And there you got it, your half moon cake. Again, Raymond wants more on these than what I'm putting on there, but you got to make sure.
I think my parents, and I'm sure a good many other parents back in the day, we would call this a 12-cent bun or a 12-cent cake. Or,
okay, yeah.
That was back in the days when, you know, you can get them for 12 cents.
Yes, you won't get them for 12 cents, not now, for sure. And I can remember that as well, Raymond. But I think what we're doing now is showing our age, right? We're when we're saying that it was called a 12-cent bun. Do not Google that.
We're not. We listen when our elders tell us stories.
When they were telling us that it used to be a 12-cent bun. Yes, you know, we.
I knew I'd wiggle my way out of that.
You know that. Just look, isn't that just delicious? Well, of course, you know now, you're not going to sit down and have one of these like this. You can cut them again, but it won't be called a half moon. This is what our half moon cakes would be like. And I'm excited for you guys to make some of these. So nice. So I did say if you got any icing left over, you can keep it in a mason jar in your fridge. We're not going to have any icing left over because I just put it all on those 4 half moons. And
like we've always said, if there's anything left in the bowl, not only am I the man behind the camera, I helps wash the dishes, especially when there's bowls.
When there's bowls, yes, you don't put a spoon in there and clean it or anything, or like our little granddaughter, put it up to her mouth and lick the plate. Yeah, no. Well, this is it. This is all you got to do to make these. Again, if you guys remember having these, or you're making it now, like this is something that I like to do as a treat. To give to our kids, well, they're not kids anymore, they're adults, but made them for our kids and now our grandkids. And of course, nobody is saying no to a half moon cake. And this is it. You can wrap them, I'll show you that. Take them to school, take them to work. Of course, if you're taking it to school, you might want to break it down and not give them so much. But if you take it to work, you probably want to have one for your co-workers. So be careful there. And that's it. Sit back with a nice cup of tea and enjoy it. this is it. This is as good as it gets. So I'm so excited for you guys to make these, and I hope your kids and your grandkids and of course anyone, your friends, family is going to love them when they come by to visit. Of course, get yourself a nice cup of tea to have with them, or a pop of your choice, of course. A recipe is going to be posted down in under this video, and we'll share it with you as well on our website, www.bonitaskitchen.com. I guess I got to do a taste test. I know. I never even thought about that. I'm giving you the recipe and just letting you go. But I mean, I'm going to have a little taste. I guess this one's going to be mine now. Oh my goodness. Delicious, delicious. This one is mine, Mom. If you're watching, I'll bring you one of the other ones.
The one in the middle is mine.
The one in the middle is yours. The wrap one is Mom's. And then we'll have one to share with somebody that drops in. 2 thumbs up. I can't wait to finish it. So to continue on telling you where you can get the recipe, you can send me a message at bonitakitchen@gmail.com, or you can visit us on our Facebook page and I'll have it posted there. This is it. This is as good as it gets. I'm not going to take any more of your time. We know it's precious. And we're going to thank each and every one of you for stopping by today and watching us make these tasty little half-moon cakes. So on behalf of myself, Raymond, and our team here at Bonita's Kitchen, and from our kitchen to yours, you have a wonderful day.
Join us by the sea, a journey in culinary, always an open door. Bonita's Kitchen to yours. Bonita's Kitchen, to yours.